All right, folks, it's another Mechanic Monday out here. Today's project is changing out my front passenger side motor mount on my 2012 Ford Focus. Did some research and found out that this is quite common. And other than one little complicated step that people may be hesitant to do, it's going to be should be an easy job. We're talking about 4 bolts, changing out the mount and attaching it, and then bolting everything back into place. And so right here, if you can see, I had the motor mount. You can see some grease leaking around from it. I did put some rust breaker on there, and there's the new motor mount. I will be reattaching that later on. Underneath the car, quite simple. Just, use a jack to support the engine and prop it up a little bit so your engine doesn't sink. And other than that, should be straightforward. So wish me luck. So I'm back again, and it was pretty quick and easy. I will show you that I pretty much have the engine unmounted from this side. Came right off, didn't even need any extra torque wrenching. Everything came off really good. There's literally the 2 bolts and 2 nuts that need to come off. Right there is where the engine mount was located. I've marked some points for reference so that when I put it back on, found some videos that said that sometimes the engine will shift, and as you can see, when it's loose, I can move this thing back and forth pretty easily. And this way, when I line it back up, I put it right back exactly where it was. So everything's moved along smoothly. Be back later. Oh, forgot to show you that. Hey, here is the removed motor mount. Here it was in this position right here, pretty much right over top of those bolts there. Once it's ready to come out, came right out. Now you can get the OEM thing. It has the bracket attached to this, but what I'm going to be doing is just replacing the mount itself, and be just unprying this part here, and then pulling this thing here and clamping it back onto the actual mount. Seems pretty easy so far. All right, folks, so here I am, just about done. Have the motor mount, the new one, reattached. It was a little bit hard just to make sure that those flanges there got crimped on tight enough, but with a little bit of creativity, back on, nothing complicated. And we're ready to go back in. So let's see if I can do this on a reversed angle. And that's going right back in. I'll eventually line that up so that everything goes back in correctly. Finished product. As you can see, I did mark some orientation marks just to make sure I didn't put the mount back in or in the reassembly process, line it up incorrectly. So I got the mount and everything oriented the right way, lined up with my original marks where everything was originally positioned. Everything's back into place. I used a torque wrench to torque everything down properly to the specs. This right here is a 18 millimeter bolt, and you may need a deep one, like a socket style, or spark plug style socket to get that off. These ones down here, that's 15 millimeters. Everything was really easy to come off and put back on. Everything's reattached now, and I'm ready to give it a try. The engine's no longer supported by a jack, and it's looking good. Fairly easy job. There's other videos out there with a lot more detail on how to do this. One of the last things to do is put my coolant reservoir back, and it really just clips into place. There's a clip right there and a clip in the back there that it catches on, and we'll be back in business. Again, pretty easy job. All right, guys, all finished with this project. Car's down off of the jacks, and starting the engine up. Hard to tell on video, but one of the things that leads you to believe that you might have a bad engine mount is a rough idle. Maybe it even sounds like you have an exhaust leak, but that's not the case. Just started up my car and playing some Goo Goo Dolls, but I did not do it before and after. but when I would rev my engine like this, I could feel the car vibrate a little bit, and it definitely sounded a bit more rough than this. So outside, take you on out. There's my leftover tools. There's the completed engine mount. Everything's in its place. Everything sounds good. And before, like I said, it doesn't really come out on video too well, but you could definitely tell there was a rough idle. And anyway, all fixed. One of the easiest jobs I've ever done. I'd much rather do this than do brakes, but hey, hopefully this engine mount lasts a long time. I won't have to do it again.